Whatever people do or people say, I don't care, I never care. To me it's right to give you thanks and praise, anytime and everywhere. You're the proud and you're the brave, you're the hero among the heroes. You're the proud and you're the brave, you're the hero among the heroes. In the decade of 1960, men and women by many thousands left the USA for a small country known by the name Vietnam. Going there to fight for human rights, going there to fight for freedom to be there. From the Saigon streets to the countryside, I saw you everywhere. Whatever people do or people say, I don't care, I never care. To me it's right to give you thanks and praise, anytime and everywhere. You're the proud and you're the brave, you're the hero among the heroes. You're the proud and you're the brave, you're the hero among the heroes.
You believed in this country and you fought for it. In a place called Vietnam, you shed your blood, you lost part of your body and maybe even your soul. You gave your life. You've been captured, you've been tortured, you've been missing, and some of you are still missing. This nation's appreciation of your service, although long awaited, will be dedicated to you from generations to generations. Vietnam veterans, you are the heroes. I salute you, and the whole country salutes you. The living, the missing, and the dead.
The Marine Forces Pacific Band under Gunnery Sergeant Espinosa.
Yeah.
Thank you, Marines.
Yeah. Yeah.
At this point in time, I'd like to ask Colonel young Jim Horton to come in with some welcome remarks. Colonel Horton, sir, is a Air Force colonel pilot with about 400 combat missions. Okay? I think you turned down an opportunity to go to MIT and take the Air Force Academy. Is that true? My job is to know all these secret things. Thank you.
Okay, now that you know that I don't have any judgment, welcome not only to all our distinguished guests, but especially to all of our Vietnam veterans for honoring us with your presence out here at this ceremony. A lot of people know that Memorial Day in a different form started back in the 1800s, but I find it ironic and actually very fitting that Memorial Day was actually legalized as a national holiday during the Vietnam War in 1971. So for all of the lack of support that the Vietnam veterans got, like I said, I find it ironic and fitting that that holiday was made official during that war and should say something about the service of all of you who served in Vietnam. So thank you. Truly impressive. And finally, pretty much every time I get up here and take over the microphone, I do have to thank my staff. In the field, we have 20 veterans, 20, that do everything from the interment of our fellow veterans and their spouses to taking care of every aspect of the cemetery. 110 acres, 365 days a week, and it is not just a paycheck. It is truly a mission and an honor for all of them, as it is for me. So thank you for coming to this ceremony. Vietnam veterans, again, thank you for your service and all you've done for your country. Enjoy.
So I'd like to acknowledge some of the people that have taken the time from their busy schedule who are considered some of our distinguished guests. Please hold your applause until I'm through with this litany of many, many names. General and Mrs. David Bramlett, United States Army. Admiral and Mrs. Richard Mackey, United States Navy, retired. Admiral Creets, who I'm waiting for, is the commander of the Defense POW accounting agency that brings back and searches for our missing in action. Brigadier General Mrs. Robert Sofke, United States Marine Corps, Deputy Commander, Mark IV PAC. The Honorable Chief Justice, retired, Ron Moon. The Honorable Judge and Mrs. Ed Kubo. Judge Kubo heads up the Veterans Court. Representative Bob McDermott from the House of Representatives. Representative Gene Ward, Hawaii House of Representatives. The Honorable Della Au Pilati, House of Representatives. Mr. Ted M. Liao, the Taipei Economic and Cultural Center. Ms. Jennifer Gutowski, head of the VA's Pacific Island Health Agency here in Hawaii. Also in the audience we have Special Agent, U.S. Secret Service Joan Corso and his parents who came all the way from Virginia. Welcome. Also, former Special Agent, U.S. Secret Service Ray Shattuck and Colonel Karen Shattuck, United States Army. Welcome. Mr. and Mrs. Charles Goodwin, I didn't see you if you're here, former head agent of the FBI, Honolulu. Mr. Toy Pham Todd, our Vietnamese speaker, former Army of the Republic of Vietnam. And your keynote speaker this evening, Captain James Hickerson and his wife. Would any World War II veteran please stand if you can to be recognized? World War II. Our Korean War veterans in the audience, please stand to be recognized. Our Vietnam War veterans, please stand to be recognized. in the Gulf War, in the Iraq War, in the Afghan War. National Anthem of the United States. State song, Hawaii Pono'i. Host the colors.
Colors. Colors, turn. Off. Hold on. Off. Hold. Off.
Thank you, VNTV. Please be seated. Acknowledgement for their service and sacrifice. So today, this event, like the one we had in 2017, is a continuous welcome home to our Vietnam veterans. Now, to my back is Lady Columbia. Lady Columbia stands for America. That's why we have the District of Columbia. She also is known for Lady Justice, Lady Liberty, but also represents grieving motherhood. President Abraham Lincoln wrote a letter to a Mrs. Bixby during the Civil War that had lost a few sons in our American Civil War. And in the letter he said, "The solemn pride that must be yours, who laid down such a costly sacrifice on the altar of freedom." Those words are appropriate today. On my left and right, as you look forward, are 8 courts, garden courts of the missing. They contain the names of some 28,788 American servicemen listed as missing in action, lost, or buried at sea. Final resting place, known only to God. 18,096 from World War II in the Pacific alone, some 8,200 from the Korean War, and 2,504 from Vietnam. The DPAA, Defense POW Accounting Command, has done very good in coming back and searching, thanks to the Johnny Webbs of this world. And they've recovered all but 1,611 of those missing in action from the Vietnam War. And if you went to the courts of the missing, it's hard to see, but there's a little rosette by the names of those that have been recovered. Vietnam, missing in action, recovered. We thank Colonel Webb and Admiral Crates for their continued support, and General McKay for their continued support in recovering those remains. I'd like to introduce our distinguished speaker, Mr. Toi Pham Thai, who was born in 1945 in Hanoi, North Vietnam. And when he was 9 years old, like millions of other North Vietnamese, they ran away from the oppression of communist rule to the south for freedom. After 10 years of working hard, Toi Thai graduated from the famous high school in Saigon and worked for Vietnam Express Media. In 1965, he heard his country call, and he went to serve in the Republic of Vietnam in the Tu Duc National Military School, ranked 5th out of all the 300 plus cadets. He went to Fort Mammoth, New Jersey, in the United States to practice media photography. He became a reporter with the 22nd Armored Division and later the 18th Division. He was wounded twice, the recipient of 2 Purple Hearts and the Vietnam Cross of Gallantry. In April 1975, as the communists violated the Paris Peace Accords, he fled to the south to get away from communist oppression. In civilian life, he continues to support the Republic of Vietnam with his Arvin magazine, and he writes about the freedom needed for the Vietnamese people. Please welcome Arvin veteran Toi Pham Thai.
Thank you, Colonel Jen. Thank you. Aloha and good afternoon.
I would like to say thank you to Captain Jim Pickett for certifying as POW for more than 5 years under Vietnamese communist supervision, and his wife Carol for supporting effort to bring POWs this home. I also want to thank American Vietnam veterans who came over 1,000 miles and gave up the safety of their old home to fight the communists and maintain freedom of Republic of Vietnam. On Memory Day, even I want to salute and respect 58,419 who made the ultimate sacrifice, shedding the blood on the soil of Vietnam and Gold Star family left behind. I had an opportunity to be trained at Fort Monmouth, New Jersey in 1965. I understand the freedom is not free and continue to publish the magazine for 20 years which honor Republic of Vietnam Armed Force and the American military that we fought shoulder to shoulder with the other allies. I am honored to have this opportunity to come to the National Memory Cemetery to express a welcome home to the Vietnam veteran, and we remember your sacrifice. You Vietnam veteran, our Republic of Vietnam heroes, those who fought to death to the war, that politicians did not support you to win this war, as well as Republic of Vietnam. Media, Hollywood, like Jane Fonda, anti-war soldier like John Kerry, more on the list. They betray on double crossing. Like millions other overseas Vietnamese, I have never said thank you enough to you and your family to sacrifice on your freedom, not only to Vietnam, but also to the Southeast Asia. God bless you and America. Mahalo.
Thank you, Mr. Toll, volunteer. We appreciate your support. At this time, we'll have the VNTV Ohana Singers do a musical tribute called Vietnam, USA.
Vietnam in USA, 3, 2, 4.
Hào quang chiến thắng ngàn sao vẫn ghi ngày anh đi sầu dân chia ly. Hào quang chiến thắng ngàn sao vẫn ghi. Life could never be like you want it to be, but proud of those stars and proud of those stripes. You're holding high the flag of liberty, symbolized by the stars and stripes. Grateful to your people and to your country, you created a dream that somehow came true. In war and peace, the shadow of you is the shadow that hangs over me.